make something to eat. Step out the house fresh when I go and get the bag. Popping bottles, popping tags. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag, 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 swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag.
What's going on, social media fans? It's your boy Eugene B. Welcome back to our growing YouTube channel where we drop dope new content every single Thursday. And if you haven't done so already, I need you guys to go ahead and hit that subscribe button and make sure that you hit that bell so that you don't miss any of our new shows that we got coming up. So on today's show, we have the incredible Kendrick Mays in the building. Say what's up, Kendrick.
What's going on, people? Appreciate you having me on board, man. It's a pleasure and an honor to be here.
Yes, yes. So if you may see that familiar face, Kendrick has been on Tyler Perry's Meet the Browns stage play back in 2004, and you probably have seen him on BET Plus here recently in Tyler Perry's Madea's Farewell Tour. So guys, we are so excited to have him on the show today. And we're going to be asking him some in-depth questions to find out, what is a day in the life of the great Kendrick Mays. So if we can, Kendrick, if you can just introduce us to yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself, particularly where you were born and raised and what you wanted to be when you grew up.
Man, as you know, my name is Kendrick Mays. I'm originally from Texas, Fort Worth, Texas, DFW, Fort Worth, Texas in the house, man. I think when I want, as kids, we want to do a lot of things when we grew up. Coming up, I wanted to be a singer. It wasn't until I just recently, probably about 20 years ago, man, that I just got into the acting thing. But coming up, man, I wanted to be a singer. I feel like I sing pretty good coming up.
Yes. I heard you singing a little bit in the stage play. You mentioned family. We have some family ties.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my wife is actually your cousin, Treese, is married to my wife's cousin. So as we connected and everything, it was kind of like, oh my gosh, we got family ties here.
And all this time we didn't know that, and had been working with each other years prior and had no idea.
Yeah, exactly. So you just mentioned that we've been working with each other for years prior. So we are working on a project right now called Keep On Loving. And I think that was the first time that I got a chance to really meet you. I was sitting across from you in that scene, and I was just panning around the table, and I was like, "Oh my God, that's LB from Meet the Browns."
Yeah.
So that was crazy. And you know what?
I think the first day we met was at the hotel, right?
Yes, it was at that hotel. And so, what was crazy is that you had did something that just really made a lasting impression on me. You had, I don't even know if you remember this, but you gave my grandmother a shout out because she loved you in the stage play Meet the Browns.
Hey, Grandma. Hi, Grandma. How you doing? What you talking about? God bless you.
And so you told her hello and everything. You said, hey, Grandma. Recently she passed away, unfortunately, but I did get a chance to show her that video, and she was just enamored by you giving her this shout out, and she was really looking forward to seeing us in this movie, Keep On Loving. So I just wanted to tell you that you made a lasting impression on me, by definitely giving that shout out to my grandmother, who you didn't even know, but you made a great impression on.
So it was truly a blessing to be able to share in that moment with her and give her that. And it was a joy for me to be able to share that with you and your family.
Yes. I was going to kind of speak on that a little bit. In this industry, sometimes you don't know who you're going to meet, and it's always good to have a lasting impression. to make a lasting impression. You only get one time to make a first impression. And so, you know, some of the time, some of the people that we run into in this industry, I definitely have to give a shout out to this gentleman, because I remember going to a movie premiere, and this talented actor was just out there, you know, connecting with the fans and talking to the people in the lines. His name is Kasim Barnes. I have to put his name out there. Q is amazing. And so although that was the first time that we met, he made a lasting impression on me. And I always said that if I did glow up in this industry, that I would want to be like him. So I have to give him his props. All right, so let's get into a little bit more of the interview. So tell me, how were you selected to be part of Tyler Perry's stage play Meet the Browns?
Meet the Browns. We're talking back in 2004. You know, David and I, we grew up together. We went to the same school together, ODY. Shout out to ODY High School here in Fort Worth, Texas. And at the time, Dave was on. He was working with Kirk Franklin, you know, Kirk Franklin and the family. And I guess at the tail end of that, he started, you know, he got involved with Tyler Perry with Meet the Browns and stuff like that. And he was telling me about it. But prior to that, he had wrote a show that he had wanted me to act in. So we had to do that. We had to do some rewrites on it according to the promoter. But we bypassed that, and then he started working with Tyler on his show, Meet the Browns, getting ready to direct that. And I told him, I'm kind of interested if it's an opportunity. So Dave made it possible for me to go out and be able to audition. I went out to Atlanta, auditioned in front of Tyler. Tyler impressed with what he saw, and the rest was history, man. Next thing you know, we're doing Meet the Browns. We're touring all across the country, man.
Wow. Oh, my goodness. So go into a little bit of detail. What was the audition like? Did you just kind of just walk in because you knew, someone, or did you have to go through like a formal process?
Well, I still, even though Dave was a great inspiration and help for me to get in the door, but yeah, I still had to do the audition in front of Tyler. So I went out to Atlanta. I had to go in his office. I think he was not the new studio, but I think one of his first studios. I had to go into his office, and I had to do a reading with another young lady. And I was actually auditioning for LB. So I had to audition for the pastor, and I had to do a song in front of him. And once I finished with the audition, I think that was October 9th. I'll never forget it, October 9th. And once I finished the audition, he said, "Can you be here next month?" I said, "I ain't got to leave. I can stay here till next Monday." Next thing you know, they flew me back in. That next Monday was October 16th, and we started the rehearsals, man. And next thing you know, God was a blessing, and like I say, the rest is history.
Oh my goodness! Is Tyler as cool as he seems? Like, just real down to earth, very about his business. How is he?
Man, Tyler Perry is cool. He's down to earth. He's funny. He's definitely about his business. When he's doing business, he's about business. He be in his zone. But overall, a blessing. He's a beautiful person, man. He's a helpful person. He's helped many careers. I've even told him, I said, "Man, I appreciate you for all the opportunities you've given me, because you didn't have to give them. And I just thank you for allowing me to be able to fulfill my dream." And much love to Tyler, man. He's an awesome person.
Yeah, he does seem pretty cool. Now, I'm going to tell you this little story. So when you talk to Tyler, you tell him I said, "What's up?" Okay, so so this is the story. This is my first encounter with Tyler Perry, other than the stage play. So I was in California, and it was around the time of the BET Awards. And so me and my wife, we were going down to Venice Beach, her and two of our other friends. And so we're getting out of the car. It's traffic everywhere. And my wife, I was looking around because, I'm a car fanatic. So I saw these Ferraris that were coming by, and I was like, in California, they drive Ferraris like they drive Ford Focuses. You know what I'm saying? So I'm up here, gooing over this car, and I'm trying to see this car. My wife's like, get out the car, hurry up. And so I seen Tyler. He pulled up on the side of us. We were so close that I saw the sweat dripping down his ear. And so I was completely starstruck. I was starstruck. I couldn't even move. I just looked at him and was just like, oh my God. I said, baby, that's Tyler Perry. And she says, that ain't no Tyler Perry. And so she turns around and she was like, dang, that's Tyler Perry. So she jumps out the car. She jumped out the car. It's bumper to bumper traffic. And she's like, Tyler Perry. So he slams on brakes and he turns around and he waves at us. And I'm just sitting there like in awe. I could not move. So that was my first interaction with Tyler Perry. So if you see him telling that story or share this video with him and tell him, hey, you know, I am an upcoming actor. You know, put me in one of your shows.
That part.
But yeah, Tyler seems like an amazing man. So you were recently cast as William Samuels in the Madea's farewell play, which was hilarious. I recently watched it a couple of weeks ago on BET Plus. Man, that play had me in stitches. That was so funny. Oh my goodness. So tell me, what was that like? How did you get a call back to be in that production?
I'm gonna tell you what's crazy. I was at home, you know, because I'm a videographer as well. So I'm at home. I'm in the garage. It's pretty much my comfort zone, my hands on. I'm in the garage, and I'm editing some film. And as I'm editing film, I'm getting these inboxes in my Facebook inbox for the auditions for that particular show, Madea's farewell tour. And it was on a Sunday. The deadline is 8:00, right? No, it was 7:30, and I downloaded it right about 7:45. That was on a Sunday. I didn't think none of it. So the next day, I'm just going on my business. And next thing you know, about that evening, about 5:15, I get a phone call. Now, you know that scam like it hits your phone all the time, right? So I'm like, I'm just looking at my phone. I ain't even thinking about it. So I hit a end, right? So the number called back. So I called back and I answered the phone. I'm like, who is this? What do you want? What do you want? This is such and such from Tyler Perry Studios. I was like, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Yeah, we got your audition and we was impressed. I think in 2 weeks, on the 18th. That had been 2 weeks. I said, sure, yeah, I'll come out. I would love to. Hang up. The next day was Tuesday. They called me right back by 10 that morning. We're trying to see if you can come out. We can fly you out Thursday. The Thursday of that same week. I'm saying, well, yeah, you can fly me out. So they flew me out. I did the audition. Like, again, it was history. Just think about the fact that I almost didn't do it because I wasn't interested in doing it at the time. But it was something edged me on to go ahead and just do it anyway. And when I did it, God blessed me with the role. I mean, what if I hadn't made that decision? And that's basically how I got that role. I got there, it was about 14 of us. I think it was just another guy that was up for the role that I had. So I had only one other competitor. And I went in audition. Everybody went in audition, came back. We was in the room waiting on the results. So they came in and they called 4 people. I was the last name they called. I was like, what's this about? You know what I mean? So we go up to the executive producer's office and we sit around. Mark Swin, shout out to Mark Swin. He talked to us a little bit, get familiar with us. He said, well, I might as well go and tell you, y'all got the parts. Everybody, we were high-fiving each other and we was excited and things of that nature. And next thing you know, we started rehearsals January 1st, about 2000, I think it was 17, 18. We started rehearsals, man, and we had 12 days to stand that whole show up. And we did it in 12 days, stood it up, and we went on tour and we traveled all over the United States. In 12 days, we had to learn the whole show. And that was
wow.
Exciting.
Yeah. And, you know, I was telling my audience, this is an amazing story, but I was telling my audience that, you know, movies are a lot different from stage plays. So in a stage play, you have to learn all the lines, everybody's lines. You got to know when your cues are, when to come in and all that stuff. So that is a lot to take on in just 12 days. But I mean, you are the consuming professional, so you know how to do it.
Yeah, I mean, and if you really want it, then you're going to do whatever it takes to get it done. You know what I mean? And especially in that level professionalism, and you working with moguls like that and people that's been in the industry a long time. You can't come in on that level half stepping. And when God presents something to you, you say you want something, and then He give it to you. You can't get up there and start half button with it. You know what I mean? So I knew the challenge. I've been and I didn't take for granted that I worked with him before, but I knew that every project, the new element or the amber is for this particular show. So I always go into a new show not thinking that I already know what to do. I go in there learning what this particular producer this production need. I adapt to that and I develop that. So yeah, it was a challenge, man. But I enjoy a challenge when it comes to my profession.
Wow. So so that was, again, you mentioned that wasn't your first time working with stars like Tamela Mann and Cassi Davis and the such. So, you know, what was the energy like? I mean, because all of y'all are so talented. Everybody has their unique personalities. You know, I bet it was, I can't imagine what it would be like to be on a platform like that with so much talent. How was that for you? What is that like? Paint the picture for us.
I mean, believe it or not, you know, when you're in this industry, you meet a bunch of different personalities. This particular show, I knew what the responsibility was, what the job was. Everybody didn't have no chip on this show. Everybody was down to earth. Everybody was kind. Everybody was loving. We got along together. We studied together. We learned together. We went out. We ate together. So that made the production, that made the show even much realistic when we were able to take on stage what we were behind stage. So we were family behind stage. Even though we, as a family, we had our troubles on the stage, but as a cast, man, we were a family, man. From my one and play my wife, Miss Alexis Hollins, down to Ravon Brown. You know, she hates when you get her name wrong. Ravon Brown, from Cat to Dave. Everybody was there with me. I mean, I don't know. And that's what makes a good production when everybody gets along. Most times the production when you're off stage, it'll come on stage and you'll be able to see it in the performance. But everybody was professional. Everybody knew what their job was. Even though we wasn't there to make friends, we became more than friends. A lot of us became family. We still stay in touch. My boy is on the Oval doing his thing, big thing. Walter Fauntleroy doing his thing. We stay in touch. Shout out to my boy Walter. But yeah, it was family, man, and I like it like that. Even with Meet the Browns, man, it was just family, man. And you know, it pretty much ever said that I'm much the comic relief with everybody. I always try to make everybody laugh and have fun. I'm always silly all the time.
We are gathered here today to bring together Les and Will Child.
Wow.
Holy matrimony of being able to walk and drive together.
Wow.
Wherever he cannot walk, she can roll with him in this sanctuary. That takes the strength of a man to be able to marry a woman that cannot walk. Oh, yes. As long as she can lay there.
Oh, yeah.
There. We will now have offering. We will now have the offering for equipment for the wheelchair.
Because in that field, there can be a lot of tension. Because not only are we there to do a job, everybody there is a business in themselves. Everybody's an independent contractor, so everybody's there to try to impress upon, especially when you're working with someone like Tyler Perry, man. You wanna impress upon yourself, and sometimes you can try to throw each other up in the bus. You know what I mean? To try to get leverage with, but it wasn't like none of that on stage, man. Everybody knew who they were. Everybody was confident in who they were, and we just came on and we had a successful show, and now we're on BET Plus. Y'all make sure y'all go watch it on BET Plus.
Yes, go watch it on BET Plus. I promise you guys, y'all will not be disappointed. That stage play was so funny. Me and my wife were in here like dying laughing, and so it's so crazy. You know, you go back from whenever, you know, back in 2004. That's when I first started seeing you guys on the stage plays. I hadn't seen stage plays or anything like that. Look, I told you, Kendrick, my baby was gonna come in here during my interview. Say hi, baby. Just say hi.
Hey, little cousin. Hey, little cousin.
Say hey, little cousin. All right, baby. Let me go ahead and finish working. Yes.
Our chair is broken.
It is.
Yeah.
Okay, well, tell mommy to go fix it, okay?
Okay.
I'm sorry if I didn't get you.
I'm waiting on mine to pop in the picture.
She is a trip. But yeah, so it's so crazy to look at some of these stage plays. That was when I first got my introduction into stage plays, was in 2004 when I saw you guys on, Meet the Browns and all these different Tyler Perry movies and stage plays. And so now you fast forward a couple of years later, and I'm working alongside and I'm supporting your acting ventures and things like that. And it's just like, I know him, and it's just so weird. It's a whole different stratosphere.
And then turned out to be family on top of that.
Yeah, I know. It's crazy.
So you never know who you're talking to when you're talking to them.
Oh yes. You know what? Speaking of my grandmother, that was something that she said. She says, no matter where you go in life, you're gonna always meet somebody that knows you. So always be on your best behavior.
My grandma always say, make sure you wear your good draws.
So let me ask you this before we move on from that stage play, because that's where people are going to probably know you best from. What were some of the funniest moments or memorable moments on stage that, whenever we're watching it, we'll pay attention to?
Yeah. Well, when we first started, if you've seen the show, you'll see where Tyler would come and put that little hat on my head on the when I'm over there. Well, when we first started the show, none of that was incorporated into the show. So when you start, that even happened with me. We gelling in, we getting the kinks out and stuff like that. So when it comes to the DVD, a lot of what you may or may not seen live, it may be on the DVD, and that's one of the most funniest moments because I didn't know it. Didn't nobody expect that, but Tyler, and he knew that. So when he was sitting at the table, when me and TT going back and forth, he walked over there to me, and I don't know, don't put that thing on my head like that and show that I was looking like me and my daughter looking like, man, the crowd and everybody on the stage lost it, man. Everybody was out of character.
Oh my goodness, it was so many moments in there, but I could just tell that Tyler was ad-libbing stuff in there. People were they were dying. Like Cora was dying, she was laughing. It was so funny.
Yeah.
So, how was it working with Kwaylon Rogers? He is so hilarious. When Tyler said, go over there and sit down looking like Sonic the Hedgehog, boy, I died.
You know what? I wasn't familiar with Kwaylon Rogers, TT. My son brought him to my attention. Once he saw the advertisement, he said, Dad, you don't know what TT did? I said, who is that? So he was showing me videos, stuff like that. And then I recalled that, okay, I've seen his videos before. And then when he came on set, when he finally came on set, started to do the rehearsals and stuff like that, this brother is the most humblest brothers you can ever meet.
Wow.
He's a young cat. He's an entrepreneur. He's a businessman. He's kind. He's soft-spoken. He'll help you. And what you would think with his popularity, he would be all stuck up and all this. That little brother is down to earth, man. He came like a son to me on set. I was like a dad to him on set. We always have these conversations, and he would ask me for advice, and because it was his first stage play. And even though he been doing his skits and stuff, I said, this is a whole nother arena, brother. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But we would have our talks, and we were on our downtime. We at the hotel. We'll go out, sit out in the patio. We'll talk. He'll tell me a little about him. I tell him about me, and he tell me about his life and my life. And we just grew this nice bond. We stay in touch from time to time. Matter of fact, I need to call him so we bring him up. But yeah, he's funny. He's hilarious. He's his comic timing is awesome. The brother's just an awesome brother, man. Brother's awesome brother. Shout out to Kwaylon.
So yes, he is pretty amazing. His videos are hilarious. Yeah. And so do you think that can you tell us a little bit about how he was selected or how he was casted? Was it because of his platform that it created as being kind of a comedian on social media, and that's what kind of led him into this stage play?
Well, based on what he told me, he said he had just got a call. You know, I think people were inboxing Tyler a lot of his reels and stuff like that, and I think it was the point to where he had grown curious about who he was, and I think a meeting was set up based on what he was telling me. A meeting was set up, and they had that talk. I'm assuming that it came out good because he was on the show, but I think a lot of his fans was wanting to see TT, and they kept, pursuing Tyler, putting his reels in the inbox, and I guess that meeting happened, and he came on the show.
Wow, that is incredible. That is incredible. So, so do you have any upcoming projects? Are you going to be working with Tyler again in the future?
What I'm doing right now, I'm writing. I'm in the process of writing. I've written a short film I'm going to get ready to film for. I just left Alabama, Birmingham, Alabama. I was shooting a film out there for 2 weeks. Here now, I kind of want to work on some personal stuff that I wouldn't been want to do, because even though I've been in front of the lens for a while, I think my interest now has grown toward getting behind the scenes, behind the lens, and doing some stuff like that. So I got something coming up. For my first project, my company is getting the picture media and photography on Facebook. So I'm looking for writers who have content, who need visual representation, and that's what I want to do. I want to do it from my own perspective at this point. Now, that's not to say will I work out again in the future if he called me, and if it's something that we can definitely do together, I would definitely be interested in that, or any producer. But I'm not saying I'm laying down my acting. I just want to level up on both and balance both sides to act as well as produce.
Well, you know what, Kendrick, what I'm learning with doing this YouTube show and everything else and working in the acting industry is that everybody knows everybody. And so I have a dope person in mind that I'm going to put you in contact with that is a phenomenal writer. So maybe you guys can link up and work on some projects together.
Awesome. Definitely do that.
All right. So is there anything else that you want to share with our audience before we close down the interview?
If I can give a word of encouragement to anybody that's pursuing not just acting, or singing or anything, but if it's anything that you want to do, that you've been talking about, you want to do, time for talking about it, it's time for doing about it. Because if it's something that you really want to do, then you're going to give time to it every day. You're going to give some type of time to it every day. You're going to talk about it, but don't give up. It might not come at the time you want it to come, but it's going to come when it's ready and for it to be right. When it's ready to produce, when God get ready for it to do it. But don't give up. I don't care if you're an actor, you're a singer, you're a book writer, you're a baker, a TV host, you want to run the Olympics. You set the goals. You make sure that you pursue the goals and you do the work. Don't wait for nobody to hand you anything. You do the work. I've been acting for 20 years, and I didn't get my first role. I didn't get my second role. I didn't get my third role. But whatever role I got was a role that was ready and waiting for me. But when you get that opportunity, don't half-butt it. When you get the opportunity to be able to do what it is you want to do, you give it your 1,000. Because even if it's a small line to a large monologue, it's important because it's in that script. It's in your vision. It's in your purpose. So whatever you do, you give it your 100, because if God give you all those talents, do not sit on them. He wants you to do something with them. And what you do with them, you go and you inspire somebody else.
That is amazing. So you guys heard it here on the Eugene B Show. Thank you so much, Kendrick, for coming in and doing this interview. This will not be the last time that we talk, okay? So, we usually bounce on and off with the family reunions in Fort Worth and then coming back here to Houston. So the next time that I'm in Fort Worth, we are definitely going to link up and we'll do this thing in person, okay?
Definitely. Appreciate you for having me on.
All right, no problem, guys. So audience, if you can, go ahead and make sure that you download that BET Plus app so that you can go and check out my boy Kendrick Mays in Tyler Perry's Madea's farewell tour, all right? We thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you later. Peace.
It's just somebody's fat boy swag. Swag. It's just somebody's fat boy swag.